It's January 30th, 2019, and decided to make some commentary about um, which groups and side of the so-called political and social spectrum that we commonly understand, which groups are more in our bedrooms, which are more interfering with your and my bedroom activities. And I basically submit to you that it is the cultural left that is more in our bedrooms. So here's some examples of the way that they are in our bedrooms more. One is racist eugenicist Margaret Sanger's birth control pill. So that pill, perhaps in existence for, about 60 years or something, bankrolled by racist eugenicist Margaret Sanger, has sought to separate sexual acts, activities with one's sexual organs from inherent reproduction. So how is that not an interference with the natural, normal, evolved, 1.2 billion year evolved bedroom activities of human beings? Well, it's a huge intrusion, really. It's an intrusion. It also helps to set up a situation where humans deceive themselves into thinking that they can make proper, adequate, healthy choices with regard to when to have children and when not to. In the past, the fact is that humans progressed a great deal because we had less choice with regard to having children. The drive to survive. How much choice do you think you have to eat or not? Go ahead and stop eating and see what happens. See whether the word choice is really applicable. The same things goes with children. When humans choose too much to not have children, well, bad things start happening. Your culture, your country, your society can go downhill and become destroyed and essentially replaced by other people who will come in with different values from yours, perhaps less free values, perhaps more totalitarianistic values. They'll come into your country and, they will replace you. So, we are smart enough to come up with a nuclear bomb, but we're kind of stupid on when to use it, right? We're smart and stupid at the same time. We're smart enough to come up with the birth control pill, but we're stupid on when to use it. It was basically the same level of impact on the human species, or perhaps even more, when the human species could. Well, how long has the human species been around? For if you count the general Homo genus, about 1 million years, and then the regular humans, maybe 100,000 years. So 100,000 years versus 60 years. How do those two match up? You think we're smarter than evolution? You think so? Evolution is naturally smart because of the way evolution with selection works. Selection weighted toward enhanced gene transmission. So that's one intrusion into our bedroom from the cultural left. A naive and often stupid intrusion. Denialism with regard to, whether we are prepared as a species to make adequate or proper, reasonable choices with regard to when to have children and when not to. And the whole business with climate hysteria, that's essentially another intrusion into our bedroom. For example, I have a sister. Her name is Janice. She lives in Homer, Alaska. Janice Higbee, Homer, Alaska. You can check her out. Homer is a hippie town. So, my sister Janice decided not to have children because she was basically lied to and deceived with this idea that having children will be bad for the planet. But the funny thing is, leftists want to import a bunch of people from the third world into the first world, and those people come from the third world, they have a lot of children. So it's like leftists, they speak with forked tongue. That is a phrase that is slightly politically incorrect. I don't know why exactly. But leftists speak with forked tongue with regard to having children. They are quite content to have people that they like to import into the first world have a whole shitload of children, but they don't want to have children themselves. And when I say shitload, I mean, okay, I'm just being a little bit crass, right? Sorry about that. When they have a boatload of children. And it's good to have children. Hey, the breeders, or rather the children thereof, will inherit the earth. So that's one point. Another point is the whole LGBTQ, PZ, Stonewall SJW cult project. That's another intrusion into our bedroom. Think how many people have been blocked from having children because of that project. Blocked by having their brains essentially derailed into a dead-end, nihilistic, petty, stunted childhood cult. De facto secular cult. Right? How many people have had their bedroom activities, the natural bedroom activities of humans, that is, having children, right? How many people have had a stunted life because they thought that was a thing that they should pursue? Everything else be damned. But they really were damned. If you block yourself off from children, that's a form of secular damnation. Damnation just means stopped. Okay? There's secular damnation. Does that push the trigger points of the ex-religious? Well, I spend a fair amount of time in a regular religion. Now I'm an ex-religionist, but I'm also in recovery from recovery. I'm in recovery from recovery, and then maybe someday I'll be in recovery from recovery from recovery from recovery from traditional religion. But yeah. So the Stonewall Warrior LGBTQ PZ project is a intrusion into the bedrooms of people. Plus, they want to state that gay marriage is the same as just regular marriage. It's not. The word marriage is basically an evolved social construct within the human species that is meant to support and promote and protect children. Now, for completely natural and evolutionary reasons, children need a mother, and a father. A mother and a father bring naturally different traits that play against each other and weigh against each other and help children survive better. There's different traits to the table that help children survive. Mothers bring stuff, fathers bring a different set of things. Some things are similar, some things are different. So, so-called gay marriage is another intrusion into the bedrooms of people. It helps basically set up an abusive situation where children are sucked into a setting that is not natural for them. Now, did I say that this is God's will? The will of a God? No. This is just what is basically the apparent needs, natural, evolved needs of children. It's the apparent nature of humans. I don't have to have a philosophy debate about it. I don't really care about epistemology that much. Why? Because religious epistemologies couch evolved traits. So what the fuck is the use of a debate, a pedantic debate where you get all twisted up with word definitions and whether there's an ought and is, or whether whether Hume thought of something or whether some other philosopher thought of something. Okay, I will admit the culturally Marxist postmodernists were basically a bunch of denialist dumb shits, and that their ideas have basically derailed the brain processes of a lot of people, including the social sciences and the arts. People, the dumb shit artists, for example, at the Utah Museum of Fine Arts, who in a state-funded institution put up a sign that says, "Oh, UMFA says that gender is not binary." Now, gender is binary in the human animal. You're either a male or a female, and you cannot change the type of gametes that you produce via surgical butchery or putting into your body hormones that are not natural for you as a male or not natural for you as a female. You cannot change your gender. Period. There's no such thing as transgenderism. There's only such a thing as abusive enablement of gender dysphoria. And abusive enablement of sexual inversion is another factor with the LGBTQ project. So how is all this stuff not a direct interference in the bedroom activities of humans? It is. It's a huge imposition. So, this business of navigating what it is to be human is a little more complex than what they taught you in noob atheist school, right? In noob atheist school, they didn't teach you that religions, for fully natural and evolutionary reasons, couch evolved morality. They didn't teach you that in angry atheist school, right? Angry reactionary atheist school. Now, I agree that religions like Mormonism and especially Islam, they amplify and abusively promote human, out-group morality. I mean, Mormonism does it some, but Islam does it in spades. Islam promotes, in an abusive way, human out-group morality. And also, Islam, now we do have evolved chastity. That's like going around with clothes on, basically. Covering our sexual organs except when you're with a committed partner or a reasonable partner, in an intimate setting. Otherwise, going around with clothes on, right? That is also an evolved thing. It's an evolutionary. It's an adaptation, but it's an inclusion. Okay, clothes are something we have evolved to wear now. That's just the way the situation, the way it is. Like it or not, it's the way it is. Okay. But forcing women to cover their hair all the time goes too far. Okay, and that shows that for some strange reason, maybe even an evolutionary reason that I don't want to admit, it would be uncomfy for me to admit that the extreme fear that the Islam meme set expresses toward sexual system activation could be an evolutionary, could be for evolutionary reasons too. Is there something about the desert? Is there something about living in a desert that makes you so afraid of sexual system activation that you force all your women to cover their hair? I mean, God, that's kind of fucked up, don't you think? So, but I mean, we can, but the reaction, the leftist, the abusive permissiveness from the cultural left is basically an overreaction to the evolved chastity that appears to be present within traditional religions, even religions like Islam. It's like an abusive overreaction in the other way. I mean, so yeah. So I like cutting edge art. You walk into a modern art museum. Oh, they'll have the artistic naked bodies in there, and oh, isn't that so cutting edge to see the naked body? Well, what would really be cutting edge is if the artists of today would show that Margaret Sanger was a horrid racist eugenicist. Cutting edge art would show that the LGBTQPZ project is an abusive sideline which sucks a lot of people into a dead end, stunted life. Um, honey, you ain't no Oscar Wilde. You ain't no Alan Turing. You're just a guy or a piggish girl who goes to gay bars and wastes time, um, and maybe does even worse abusive stuff than that, right? So yeah. Anyway, how's that for today's chat? Okay, have fun, have kids, and don't let the cultural left, cheat you out of an inherently reproductive life. Okay?